two-way form of marketing. So if you have a product or service that you're trying to get out there, it's hard to put everything into a small ad. Not to say that other, traditional marketing isn't effective, because it is. It's great. But if you need to explain a little bit further and be able to have an actual conversation with your audience to talk to them about what makes you different from your competitor that may be selling the same exact service that you're offering, that's where social media comes into play. Social media also allows you to build that know, like, and trust relationship with your audience. So before that they get to sit down and talk with you to talk about buying your service, they're able to already build that relationship, that trust factor with you. So if you're a dance studio, for example, they're able to see the kids having fun in the dance studio and maybe see some people that they know, and then they'll feel more comfortable calling you, for a studio. Same thing with nursing home and the book. If you're having positive reviews on your book online, then people are going to be more amped to read it. But there's thousands of social media sites out there. So the challenging part is which ones to pick, because it does take time, and time is our most valuable asset. So how do you choose which social media sites to spend your time on, and what's going to bring you back the biggest return on investment of your time? Now, some of the most popular ones around this area are Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest. WordPress is a blog, and that is article sharing, content marketing, but it's all interactive. So we threw that in there as a social media tool. Foursquare and Yelp, and now also Instagram is becoming more and more popular around here. Each of these social media sites are completely different. So I'm going to talk to you in a minute about the strategy behind each one, but each of these sites are completely different in who that you're marketing to and your tone of voice that you're using on each of these platforms. Facebook, for example, is more of your sit-down kind of restaurant. This is where you feel comfortable, you're going to kick your shoes off a little bit, hang out and talk with people, and be a little bit more laid back. You would not use the same kind of context on Facebook that you would for LinkedIn, for example. LinkedIn is that professional networking site. It's like your resume. It's think of yourself at a networking event such as today. You're going to talk a little bit differently on LinkedIn and share things a little bit differently than you would on Facebook. Facebook's fun and free, and I'll show you some examples of some fun things that you can do on Facebook. Now, Twitter is your fast food restaurant. That's information on the go very quickly. It's going to be driving people back to your website or back to useful information. YouTube, you can use it to communicate a story, the story about your business, and use to have fun. How many of you in here have watched a video on YouTube in the last, well, besides this morning, but within the last 30 days? About everyone? All right, yeah. Because it's more and more popular, like you've seen in the video. It's the second largest search engine in the world. So also, without getting too nerdy, by the way, I should mention I'm a nerd, so if I go that way, just say, slow it down, and I'll bring it back. But Google has changed its algorithm, okay? Meaning that the search results, when people are searching for information and they're typing in a search result, the information that used to come up on the first page of Google was whoever had the best keyword stuffed website, the most pages with all the keywords stuffed in. That's completely shifted. Google had the penguin and panda updates, which I don't name these things. I don't know where they come up with their names, but they're fun. But the penguin and panda updates, that meant that now how Google's ranking who shows up on the first or second page is all about user-facing content, meaning the things that a user can see, that's what you're being ranked on. So social media is included in this. Like Google+, for example, if you're on Google+, every time that you're writing a post on Google+, that's indexing almost as good as a blog does for social media. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all these things are going to boost up your search engine optimization. Your website is still very, very important, but you have to make sure that you're maintaining the website and updating it frequently, or else Google's not re-indexing what you already have. Okay? It's all about user-facing content and what things are going to give you the most relevant that you are, the more often you're going to show up on the first and second page. So Pinterest It's not just for women, by the way, guys, in here. I'll show you some ways. But it's also being indexed. I actually was at Trisco the other day, and I was talking to them about using Pinterest to build up, like, SEO. And they're like, really? You know, for us, the building industry. And when I was talking with them, we actually started searching on Pinterest some of their keywords, like, I don't know, it was like building automation, some different keywords, terms for them, and there was already Pinterest boards built up for that specific industry. Okay. So it was kind of funny to see all that on there. They were very surprised. I don't know if any of the guys in there set up a Pinterest page afterward, but they're surprised. So, all right. So, all of you should have a piece of paper that says Developing Buyer Personas Worksheet. Okay? You want to pull that out, and we're going to go over that here in just a second. But first, why social media? You know, why is it important? We talked about it's a game changer, SEO, and it just keeps growing. I mean, every day there's more and more people on social media, and there's more social media sites starting, and there's more the social media sites that we've learned they've changed it on us. So, but social media is here to stay. You know, but the biggest thing to know when you're developing our social strategy is that people are not just demographics. They are real people, and that we should get to know them and build relationships with them. And that's where our sites are going to grow, and that's where your social media is going to grow. So today we're going to talk about plan, our step strategy, which is planning, taking action, engaging, building, and measuring. And then you notice the circle goes right back around because you always have to keep improving on your social media plan. So the first step that we're going to talk about is buyer personas. So before we can sell anything or build a social media strategy, we first need to know who are we trying to talk to. Because we talked about social media is that conversation. Who are you trying to reach out to? Because it's not about just having 1 million followers on your page or 1,000 followers on your page, because if only 2 of them are who you're trying to reach, it doesn't really matter anyway. The rest is just cluttering up your space. I'd much rather have 25 people on my page that all care about what I'm talking about than 1,000 followers and only 2 people care about what I'm talking about. So the first thing is developing your buyer persona. There's a questionnaire there, and by the way, we're HubSpot certified partners, so we are inbound marketing certified, which means that we actually take clients through this process to build that strategy, okay? But the first strategy is to identify your audience. So if you don't know, everybody says, you know, sometimes when we go through the business plan with them, their online marketing plan, like, you know, who are you trying to market? Anybody that wants to buy my product. Well, that's not anyone, because not everybody has the same pain point that wants to buy your product. Everybody is different. So here's some questions that you can ask yourself, and if you want to take just a second and fill out as many questions as you can on here, and I'm going to bring up my questionnaire so I can explain it to you guys a little bit too. So the first question is, what is their demographic information? Okay? Not just meaning like the individual, like where are you trying to target location-wise, okay? So if you're trying to target just Lima, Allen County, or Lima and, you know, the surrounding counties, write that down. Because here we may use different social media sites than someplace out west that may be popular there, okay? So first, where are you trying to target? Where's your market at? And the person that you're trying to target, if you think of all the people that are most likely to buy from you, the profitable customers, not just the ones that buy just because it's inexpensive and it's a quick sale, but the ones that are profitable. The profitable ones mean not only the client that buys from you, but the client that then refers you to others because they're so happy with the work that you've done for them that they're referring you on. Those are the most profitable customers because that means that you've reached your match. And just if you can think about the people that refer you the most, that's your ideal target audience, okay? Because those are the ones that you've satisfied the most, okay? And it's worked good for you. So think about that. So the job level and seniority, if this can kind of fit into a group. So for example, Our main clients are professional service clients. We work very well with universities and healthcare industry and overall professional services. So typically B2B is our niche, or the professional services like healthcare, things like that. So that's, and when I say seniority level, then if I think that my target audience is going to be that person that's going to say the yes in that company, so it's going to be, typically the administrator or the marketing buyer or the president or CEO. So that's a seniority level person. If it's white collar, blue collar, you can put that there too. The biggest question though is you can also, what does a day in their life look like? This means like, are they really busy? Are they on the go? What times a day are they going to be online and looking for information? The most important question though is, what are their pain points? What problem do they have that you want to help them solve? So what are they struggling with? For us, for example, in our social media end, our client is one that doesn't have time. They don't have time to manage it. They don't have the knowledge, nor do they want to. They want to run their business, not spend time, posting and monitoring Facebook or, Twitter. And it's also someone that wants a, website that works like a sales rep, and, they want to hire it out instead of trying to build it on their own. So that's their pain points. Their pain points are keeping up with information and having somebody to monitor their pages while after business hours, things like that. So if you're a dance studio, and I'm going to pick on you because you're up front, If you're a dance studio, the pain point might be, building your child's confidence, or it might be, having a good studio that really teaches the instruction, not just a dance, So what are those pain points that you help them solve? Now, next, what do you want to help them? What do you want to help them solve? You can match this up later with your services that you offer that complement that. So you may have a lot of different services that match different pain points. You can list those out later, okay, and start matching them up, okay? But what does your client value most, your ideal buyer persona? What do they value most? There might be a lot of great things that you offer, but what does your client value, or your ideal target audience value most? My client values time most. Time above all. They want their time. Next, where is your client going for information? Where are they searching? If they're looking for a service that you provide, or trying to find somebody to solve that pain point for them, where are they looking? Are they asking their friends? Are they Googling you? Are they talking to other people in the industry? What are they doing to find you? Are they at a hospital and they're getting referred by the person that's there? Where are they at? Where are they going for information? Then what's going to be those deciding factors, the experience that they're looking for when they're seeking out to buy it? The information. So what's going to be that deciding factor if they choose A or B that offers the same thing? What are they looking for? What's that one thing you can offer that's a little bit different? And then what's the objections that they're going to have when they're talking with you? That sounds great, but, And I know I'm going over that fast, but I want to make sure we can cover that. So the most important questions are, what pain points does the buyer have? What solutions do you have to offer to solve their pain points? And where are they going for information? Okay? But it's all about what we're going to do, and how this applies to social media is that once we know who we're trying to target, it all starts coming a little bit clearer on what kind of content we write, what kind of social media sites that we're going to go on, because where is that person spending time? If I'm only looking for CEOs, and my only goal, because it's about setting up your goal too, is to sell online, I'm only going to go where my buyer persona is. But if I'm also looking for PR and to get my name out there, like if you're a new book author, you're probably going to want to go on a couple different sites. One for the buyers, but another one to also do that PR campaign for yourself. So more people hear about you, okay? So, for example, we used to have a Facebook page, and it drives traffic back to our website, and it's our fun outlet for us. But really, a lot of our clients come from LinkedIn, of course, because it's the professional service, and a lot of the website traffic comes from Twitter and some of the other social media sites. But it's all about being able to build that brand up so more people are like, oh, I just feel like I've heard that name over and over and over again, because the more present you are online, the bigger your presence is perceived, okay? But the next step, and after you identify who your client is, think about who you want to be online. Who are you as your brand? What is your voice? If you have multiple people that are going to be handling your social media, that's definitely important to establish that, so it doesn't sound like the company is schizophrenic, Like, are they fun? Are they serious? What's going on? I'm confused. So really, identifying who the company is as a whole. And maybe then it might be different voices on different social platforms, because we talked about there's different audience groups on Twitter, and then there's different audience groups on Facebook. So if somebody's more fun and posts more fun stuff, have them do the Facebook stuff, or the Instagram or Pinterest. And the other person that's more serious, okay, you got Twitter and LinkedIn. You can split it up. But you definitely have to make sure that you guys all have the common goals at hand. So identify, what are your goals with social media? Are you looking to build the PR? Are you looking to sell? What services are you trying to accomplish? Are you looking at it strictly as a relationship building tool with some of your already existing clients? Those things all matter. So setting up your goals first, okay? Next, then, when we're writing our content, we already know who we're trying to target and our goals with social media. And make sure that these are all written down so you know what to come back to when you're measuring your results. But writing out your content and choosing what you put online is the next most critical thing to determining if your social media campaign, your internet marketing campaign is a success or a failure. It's all about building the relationships. And before you go out and say, hey, buy my book on Amazon, buy my book on Amazon, buy my book on Amazon, and then you wonder, oh, there's nobody out there, or nobody interacting, it's because social media is not sales, it's relationship building. Okay, it's all about building those relationships. So when you're writing your content, use our 4E checklist, which is, does my content educate? Does it engage? Does it set myself as an expert in my field, or does it entertain? If it does one of those 4 things, then you're good. It's not to say you can't share a link about buying your product and service, but you need to reduce it to 10% of the time. 10% is a safe number, okay? But you can also do it in a fun way when you're putting stuff out there. So if you have a open house special you want people to buy, definitely put it out there, just 10% of the time. Other times, talk about some of the things why people would want to come talk to you. If you have tickets, of course you're going to put that out there. But okay, so the 4E checklist. Okay, so now we're going to talk about a campaign, and as you can tell why I'm sitting down is because I like to do conversations versus presentations, so that's why I made it a little informal. But I wanted to talk to you guys about HTF, which is one of our clients that we set up, and we actually were recognized from Social Media Examiner for our social media campaign with them, which we'll go over ways of how we've used social media for a care community setting where people are like, social media for a nursing home? What? They thought they were crazy. And so we were very excited, though, that we've been able to partner with them for all of their locations in Ohio and Pennsylvania. But we want to talk to you about how we can take somebody as a nursing home and transition it to social media, okay? So first, and Leslie can't answer this, okay? But think about some pain points that their industry may have had or may have that they're trying to solve, okay, online. So their ideal buyer, so this persona checklist that we just went through, what are some things that you think that of pain points of the person that would be looking for their service? So what would somebody that's looking for them, what is one of their problems that they'd be trying to solve?
Maybe they're struggling because they have a parent or a loved one And they're just struggling to find somebody who they can trust.
Yep. That's one.
You want a group that's going to be compassionate?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Can I trust? Yeah. Can I trust? Can I really trust? You know, are you gonna be? Are you gonna? Yeah. Are you gonna be good to work with when I'm coming in there? Yeah.
Do you go after the residents, or do you go after the family of the residents?
You're on
Because the
track.
residents won't be able to use the computer.
Well, you'd be surprised, actually. But okay, so I'm gonna speed up and tell you kind of the answers, and you guys right on point. One, our first campaign, we actually started with them over a year ago, and our first campaign was just to reach those potential buyers, so the caregivers that were trying to, find a place for mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, and wanting to know where they can place them, that it would be safe and compassionate and a good place where they know that their parents going to be cared for. Okay, so that's who we were going to go after. But this year, it actually kind of changed. We started thinking, okay, the healthcare industry is changing dramatically in the future, and that now the pay for care based on the care that it's given. So not only will HTF and people that take Medicaid be paid on the services that they're given, but they're paid on the level of care and the level of improvement that they've made in that person's life, and also quality satisfaction scores that their own employees are giving. So you can actually be paid less if your employees aren't happy with working there. Okay, so now our strategy changed a little bit. We decided that our two ideal target audience groups are, one, going to be the people that are searching for a place to come, for their mother or father, grandfather, grandmother, but also they also offer short-term rehab services as well. So we needed to target another audience that is just maybe looking for that place to go after that knee surgery, and then also the employees that are working in the facility. So 3 completely different target audience groups, okay? It's almost, we really had to come up with a creative strategy that would help relieve the pain points of all 3 of those ideal target audience groups. So we decided what we could do is set up, one, Facebook for them to reach some of that sit-down audience. So we can talk to them more about the services that they offer and explain what makes them different with that patient-centered care versus the nursing home that's right next door. Because a lot of the people that are choosing a nursing home and where to go into, they're making that decision from the hospital. Okay, they're not able to come in, talk with people, shake hands, and all that stuff. They're making those decisions right there at the hospital. But we also wanted to use Facebook, too, as a tool to interact with some of the team members. So, because remember, your team is also another valuable asset to the company. You make sure that they're happy and feel connected and involved. And then we also set up Twitter for them to drive traffic back to the website and to share helpful information about preventative care. How to tell signs of Alzheimer's, things like that, preventative care. We did Pinterest kind of in a fun way, and I'm going to show you some examples of some things that we've done. So Pinterest in a fun way. I think these pictures are hilarious, by the way. But Pinterest, when we talked about Pinterest, they were like, are you sure? But we talked about using Pinterest as that SEO tool. But then we also use this internally because they have an activities team that comes up with activities for the nursing home every day. And we thought, how many creative ideas can you find on Pinterest, that could help not only, their activities team, the dietitian team there, everyone, with one tool right there on Pinterest. And then people that are searching, those women, because we all know, sorry guys, the women make most of the decisions in the home when it comes to care, that if they're spending their time there, they're going to see this and be able to relate. But also, did you know that Pinterest, you can add your videos right there too, and share your videos and play videos right within Pinterest? So we were able to add that in there. And then do hyper-focused board pages like cancer awareness. Was June 2nd, was it? Was Cancer Awareness Survivor Day? National Cancer Survivor Day. And we were able to build some boards around that. But what got us recognized actually was not where we set up the pages, but what we were doing while we were on the pages. So I want to take you quickly through our process. We identified who our buyers were, their pain points. Then we identified what our goals were and what platforms we were going to set up with. Now it's time for us to identify our strategy, okay? So what we actually did is Jeremiah and Chelsea, that's wearing the orange shirts in the back, they are the HTF account management team, so they're the ones that manage everything on their pages. But what we did is sit down as a team together and talk about the whole year strategy for them up front. So we already knew from January, February, March, here's what we're going to do. We had one campaign for those 3 months. The next 3 months, we had another campaign to keep the momentum going, okay? So a couple of the campaigns that we've done already this year, and actually, Chelsea, you want to talk about the Cancer Survivor campaign?
Yeah, we actually ran a National Cancer Survivor campaign for the last 2 months, from April all the way to May. June 2nd is National Cancer Survivor Day. So we put this platform all across 24 care communities to reach out and try to get, the loved ones interested. And our main goal of, setting up this campaign is to come back with our, motto, which is tradition of caring, which is what HTF stands for. So we really wanted to show, we do care. It's an inspiration to all, and we wanted to, give back to someone that really deserved this. So we sat together, and each care community set aside, allocated amount of money, and we gave a $3,600 gift package to Mackinac Island, which is a vacation getaway. So you can nominate and share from your loved one onto the page, and they wrote up a little brief story about, what they did to, fight through this cancer and everything that they went through. And that's basically what our main mission was going into this. And it turned out to be a wonderful success. We had over 30 entries and over 2,000 votes for it, and that was just
All on the Facebook pages, mind you, too.
Yeah.
It was a win-win.
And it also was really awesome because we set it up with our YouTube. We, located it back to our Twitter and back to, their newsletters and everything. So we pulled in everything that we had together with this. We also made our posts, relevant to what we were doing. So it was all that inbound marketing, and everything was directed toward that mission of what we wanted to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. So one clear strategy for a month, and maybe it's a month, maybe your turnaround, is quicker and you have to change your topics monthly, but plan out your campaign in advance, and it makes everything smoother for you. Because then you can correlate all your posts around it. You can tie everything together, so making sure everything has one voice of your brand together. So that Cancer Survivor campaign, that was amazing. It got some, public attention from local media, and it was giving back because they wanted to build up the PR plus and get that engagement on the pages, and it's correlated with National Cancer Survivor Day, so it was a win-win. Done a couple other campaigns similar to that. By the way, that sounds like a lot of money, $3,600, but it was all divided through each care community, which was like $150 per care community. So it wasn't a lot of money, because you don't have to spend a lot of money in order to get a big impact, okay? You can offer something small or fun. We set it up as a photo contest. By the way, if you want to learn how to do photo contests, and a free one even, there's a free webinar that we're offering on Friday by our partners at TabSite, and they will walk you through how to set up a photo contest and use their tool for free. So that's Friday. But using that, we also did some fun viral videos during the campaigns as well, and just to kind of get the momentum going. And we actually did a Harlem Shake video that, as you can see, received 13,000. Let's skip this out here in a minute. But you think Harlem Shake in a nursing home? What? Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. So they received 10,000 views in the first week for this, okay? And did your care community do one too? Yeah, I thought so, right? Yeah, Briarwood, right? Yeah. Yeah, yours was great too. How many did yours receive? Let's see. It was
Our
like
residents asked if we could do it again.
I know. I know. Every time they see John now coming back with the video camera, they're like, "Can we do another one?" So it's a lot of fun. So just having fun with it. A lot of the care communities, they shot their own with a flip video or a regular camera, so it doesn't cost a lot of money. We actually just did another one, and JD here yet?
Yeah, just walked in.
Okay. Well, I'll show you later. But we did another one for about the veterans that I'll maybe play during one of the breaks, and it was just a very low-key, inexpensive budget video, but it was great. It just talked about, veterans and support the community, and received a lot of positive interaction. So it doesn't take a lot of money or a lot of resources. You can do things on a low budget. You just have to have a clear-cut strategy. Yeah.
Just have something to say about that.
Yeah.
It was really awesome because our residents were talking about how their grandkids in Texas got to see the video, and even just being around town, it's like, oh, we saw that Harlem Shake video, that was awesome, and the whole town loved it. So.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, they kept asking, when's Briarwood's coming up? Because when we released them in order of when we shot them, yeah, everybody was like, okay, I want to see the next one. It was funny. I did a presentation in, where was it? Ottawa, I think, and we were talking about some of the Harlem Shake videos. So, having that clear-cut strategy and then measuring the results, which I'll touch on even later in another presentation, but then having fun with it. So I'll show you a couple of different examples of ways that you can have fun with your posts, like on Facebook even. We did something with Slime and Manor, I'm going to show on your page too, but, Melissa wants you to enjoy your time here at the lake. Do you know where she's at though? Like having some fun with it and taking some pictures and having people guess where you're at, it gets a lot of interaction. We also have done where it's letting people getting to know who you are and feel connected with you and then interact with you. So even if you're have partners, give them a shout out on social media and interact with them. But figuring out who your audience is going to be key to knowing what type of post do you put out and using that 4E checklist. And if we talked about what does a day in their life look like on that questionnaire, if a day in their life looks like they're struggling and rushing around and always on the go, then sharing tips like even quick recipes that they can do at home, that still relates to your brand. Even though you might not be selling anything cooking, it still relates to your brand. So just knowing your audience. But and then giving shout outs. The high school graduates, we did a shout out here. People were engaging with that. And then some of the things going on in the local community. Think hyper local on Facebook too, some of your pages, because that's going to build up your audience. Yeah.
How many different places on the internet could you gain access to their video for Briarwood? Just on their Facebook page or YouTube or their website, or how many?
All connected. Everything that we have. So we'll start with their website. We have their website first, which we have a social hub on the corporate website. And then also on their website, we have a social media toolbar, which looks like this. So at the bottom of the website, you can click, I don't know if you guys can see it all the way down there, YouTube, and it links you up with their YouTube videos. And you can watch all of them for right there. You also can link up with their Facebook and their Twitter and interact with everything right in one spot. So that's two, Social Hub, their other website, Twitter, Facebook. Facebook we build in on all the pages. It's called an iframe or a fan gate, where it's a website on top of your Facebook page. So this is a mini version of the website where there's a virtual tour, because we said their decision makers are usually making it, if it's for the care community side, they're making it from the hospital room. So we want them to be able to, get to interact with the care community right from there. And you can watch a virtual tour. You can do everything right from their Facebook page. So I lost count of how many that was. 5. And then, of course, YouTube, Google+, they're on there, and all their Pinterest pages. Everything is linked up together. So you can't get to one without being able to get to the other. We link them all together. And, of course, all of that's Google search results, too, independently. So. All right, and I know my good friend JD is here. So before I turn it over to him in a moment, what questions do you have about setting up that setting up the strategy and being able to tie it all together. And by the way, some of the tools that we use for managing this, and keeping things organized, you can go to our resources tab, like on our website, and there's a lot of resources tabs here that you can click on. And then our full strategy that we set up for, and this applies to website and social, is right here. Talks about the different steps and what you should consider during each step when you're setting up your strategy. Okay, so it's the little funnel, and we like to call it the relationship marketing funnel. Planning, attracting, converting, engaging, delighting, and measuring. Because once you sell someone, you definitely want to keep that engagement going though, and keep them delighted. Because each month you don't stay in contact with somebody that buys from you, and lose 10% of your relationship with them. So after 6 months or so, your competitor's looking a little bit nicer, unless you've really wowed them and stayed in contact with them. So, what questions do you guys have?
Are there, I'm aware that there are certain sites that allow you to link up your different social network accounts. Are there some that are better than others? Are there some that, I'm trying to learn these things, and I know there's ones that will link up like Facebook and Twitter and maybe LinkedIn. Are there ones that expand a little farther than that, as far as trying to streamline what you're doing and your time to do it when you have 15 other areas of focus that your position requires? Are there some that are better than others as far as streamlining multiple accounts?
Twitter and LinkedIn are the only ones I would recommend linking together. All of them you can rig to link together, but like as we said before, they're completely different people on each page. Some of them carry over, but if those are the people that carry over, the last thing they want to do is see your same message on both channels. So I recommend not linking your pages together and having a different you can still have the same core message, but worded differently and kind of approach differently on two different channels. So Facebook can make it more fun and add a photo and add some things in there. And Twitter, it's going to be a little bit more, engaging, but short, too, because there's nothing more annoying than seeing those cut off half messages on Twitter. And it's like, FB, I'm like, what are you trying to say to me? I don't understand. And then people interact and they're not checking the Twitter too. And then it's just like crickets, after you respond back to them. So.
Do you have a suggestion on how to, would it just
manage?
Be essentially, I know you mentioned, writing out your content ahead of time, would it just be a matter of tweaking it then as you're posting?
Yes, you can schedule it ahead of time though. Scheduling ahead of time is perfectly okay, as long as you know the times of day that your audience is going to be on there, in which, I can send you guys that information. If you message me, I can tell you we use a HubSpot, which lets us know, and of course it takes a little bit of time once you've been established online, but it tells us the time of day that your audience is the most heavy and when you should schedule it. But scheduling your posts are perfectly fine. It's just making sure that you're monitoring what you're doing. I do recommend Hootsuite. There's actually a link to it on our website if you're looking at scheduling it. But if you, it's limits to how many accounts for free, and then it is a paid tool after that. But Facebook allows you to schedule too right within Facebook. Has everybody used the Facebook scheduler before? Okay, so if you're writing a post, you can of course we'll take them away. But you can, when you write your post right here, see this little thing that looks like a clock kind of grayed out the bottom? Hit that, and you can choose the year, the month, the time, the day that you want everything to post. And then you hit post and it'll schedule it for you right there. So you can schedule right within Facebook. And then you can go up the top here, and if you want to see what's scheduled out, you can use activity log, and it'll show you all your scheduled messages and then ones that are posted. So you can see what's coming up for them. So, yes, we use this tool. So So, because the reason why we do use Hootsuite, but we also use Facebook, because another key thing to know is that Facebook EdgeRank, it does ding you if you use an outside. Facebook's the only one that kind of dings you as far as their algorithm for showing up on the news feed if you're using an outside source to schedule your posts. So, but Twitter, you're good. You can schedule all day long. Google Plus, LinkedIn, the same thing.
One thing that was brought up to me is if you do schedule things ahead, and if there's some emergency, something happens, like the shooting, that you need to go back and review what you
Yeah.
have scheduled and maybe stop it.
Oh yeah, the last thing you want is like, everybody having a great day, and it's right after some big tragic event. You're absolutely right. So we do like 2 weeks in advance, but you do monitor it, and you know like if there's an event going on. So it's not a set it up and don't touch it anymore, because people are going to interact, and you know, you want to make sure that you're interacting with them and monitoring, knowing what's going to happen before it goes out. So if tragedy happens, that you can be on it. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
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 How many hours a day or did you recommend to be on these different update sites?
I would recommend an hour a day.
An hour?
The more time you invest, the more you're going to get out of it, but an hour a day.
Okay.
When you're talking about scheduling and planning out your campaigns, do you just say, I'm going to post something, or do you write out exactly what it is that you're going to post for 3 weeks from Tuesday?
That's a good question. We actually talk about what service and what pain point we're addressing. So we have something fun, a campaign that'll be going on, something fun and engaging like a contest or something to keep that momentum going and the fans driving in. But then we also talk about what problem are we addressing that month, that time. So it'll have a different focus. So if it's PR, then it's PR. Then you'll talk about, you'll be linking up with other businesses and sharing stuff like that, but it's that. Then we write the post based on the problem that we're trying to solve. Or the service, or all around because your service matches up to the problem and your posts related to that. So like, for example, Innovative Office Solutions, we work with them. And we talked about the problems that we're trying to solve. Of course, space planning is something that they offer. Then we talked about, okay, what's the pain points of people that are doing space planning? A lot of times we don't have time and that kind of stuff, so we talked about time management tools for businesses for a couple months. And then we talked about going green, because another thing is now businesses are trying to save money and be more economic. So that was another focus for the next month. So, and all those posts were tied around that.
Every post?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, we still interact. I mean, you can twist it a little bit, so it's not blatant that we're only focusing on that, but it's all interacting together about it. So. And by the way, if you want to see examples of different ways, you can go to our website and go to the clients link, and there's all of our clients, most of them listed there. I think I need to update a few, but listed there and links to their social media pages, so you can kind of get a feel. So if one's kind of similar industry and you want to see, what are they doing, and getting a feel for it, just go there. Okay. All right. Oh, JD, I think I had your presentation. All right. Well, any other questions too?
I have 4 blogs on Blogger, and after about 3 months, I kind of got tired trying to post something on every one of them. And so I was kind of thinking maybe spend my time would be more useful, maybe putting it on one. And so since you're going to be talking about WordPress, how would that be better than having like 3 or 4 individuals?
So you only have Blogger? You don't have WordPress?
No.
Definitely set up WordPress instead of Blogger. WordPress is definitely more SEO friendly, and actually I will give you a podcast, remind me before I leave, that talks about the key differences between those two. But you can have different categories on one blog, okay? So you can have a category around, because I'm assuming there's 4 different topics on each blog,
Yeah.
but all related to the
Singles,
same
families.
industry kind of. So you can have different categories on one hub though. So you're still driving people back to the same spot that you want them to be to interact with you, but the categories related to them specifically. And so I would recommend, as you're transitioning that, to set it up on WordPress and get off Blogger, and into WordPress, and there's a lot of free SEO tools there too that will help boost up your blog, but you definitely need to have a blog right now, so, yeah. And, or how often are you posting?
Well, I was posting just about every day, and I wasn't really impressed with the ratings because if you had 4 blogs, you had 4 different addresses and everything, and so that was the reason why I just kind of thought, you know, I was kind of wasting my time at the end. I was trying to give out informational that people could use, you know.
Yeah. Definitely when you're setting up your blog, if you see that you're not getting those that traffic results, how are you measuring it? Google Analytics or, yeah. So if you see you're not getting your traffic, yeah, reconsider your approach. And each blog article should be focused on one keyword that you're trying to have reached. So one blog article can be focused on giving advice and stuff, but have one keyword that you're really trying to rank for. And then make sure you use it at least 5 times, have it in your title header, but a creative way to put that, and then also in your meta description and things that you're posting. Now, if you have WordPress, you can use, it's called SEO Yoast. It's a free tool that you can plug in there. Like if you go to add plugin, search for SEO Yoast, you can add it in, and it'll help you take the guesswork out of that. But just make sure each blog post has one keyword that you're trying to rank for instead of jamming it all in, and you'll find that your traffic will go up from there.
You said that was SEO post?
Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T. Yeah, I think for a minute. All right. Well, I am very excited. We have JD today, and his presentation, I seen it yesterday, and it's going to tie in very nicely to what we have already talked about and kind of elaborate a little bit. If you guys need to, if you want to grab a drink or use the restroom, we'll get him set up here and start the presentation in a couple minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes.